We'd only been married 6 months when I went home and told her, do you want to adopt a boy? And she goes, what? We've only been married 6 months.
Kindergarten sweethearts, Dennis and Ramonza reconnected in their 50s with a whirlwind courtship and were married 3 months later. Their lives were changed irrevocably, but this was just the beginning.
I was born in Honduras in 1997. I don't know a lot. I was really little.
When he was 2 years old, Hurricane Mitch hit the tiny country with a vengeance. Jordan's family was swept to sea, and little Jordan was found amongst the rubble. Jordan was adopted by a pediatrician and his wife. They brought him to the United States on a medical visa. Over the years, the situation didn't work out, and Jordan found himself in foster care.
After that, I just had some problems at home and stuff, so that first home didn't work out. So I went into foster care my first time when I was about 9. Life was, it was pretty frustrating. It wasn't all that great at that time. During foster care, I've had a lot of people introduce me to different things, teach me different skills. One of the things that I that got started into was basketball. I was kind of on and off during basketball because I moved a lot, different foster homes, different placements. When one of my caseworkers came to me and asked me about adoption, I wasn't thinking about it at that time. I was so much older. And she's like, well, let's give it a try. So I started looking into it, and I went into this foster agency called CTA, which they were amazing, and that's where I met my dad, Dennis.
We gave reprieve for the foster parents, and he was one of the people that came into the program, and very first off, they assigned me to him, and we hit it off just perfect.
So Dennis came into my life. I guess he barely started one day, and I was coming out of the hall, and I saw him in his police uniform or whatever. I guess he's getting off from his other job, and I just started talking to him, and we just started having conversation about fishing and stuff. So the cool thing was the day I came back was I found out that he was going to be assigned to me. So I got to work with him pretty much the rest of the time while I was there.
We went fishing. He loved to go fishing. He loved to play games, and I played games with him on the Nintendo, and we just got to know each other and better and better.
And during that time, we were still looking to adoption, and they were looking for homes for me. And I already had a lot of people looking into me and stuff like that. And I didn't know this, but I guess he did go to home to his wife, and he asked what he thought about adoption.
Dennis had already told me a lot about him, so I kind of knew what to expect, but just seeing him, my heart just really was swelling.
He needed a family, and that's the main thing that I went home and talked to my wife about. I said, he needs a family. He needs somebody that he can call his own. He'd been in and out of foster care for, a long time.
But when I met Jordan for the first time, there was no question. I knew I wanted to do it.
I was very excited because I got the big news. He took me to dinner, and we talked about it. I was very excited at that point.
Even before he moved in, we just went for it, and we went to every practice, and we were there with him. And then they had a tournament like a few weeks, about 2 or 3 weeks before he moved in, and we just can't he just spend the night? We don't have to, go and get him early in the morning, and it'd just be like, we're so excited. So when he finally did move in, it was great. It was around Christmas time. We were decorating the tree, and did all kinds of fun things. And then so for the next year, 2013, it was just getting to know him, and him getting to know us, and there were ups and downs, and I had somebody say, well, it's going to be a challenge, and I didn't know if they meant because he's in a wheelchair or what, but I'm like, well, it's not because of that, it's because of his being a teenage boy. That was mainly the challenge right there.
It gave him the family that he could call a family, and that's why I wanted to adopt him. I wanted to give him a permanent family that he could call his own.
At first, I never even thought I was going to be adopted, so I had different plans before then. And kind of the one thing, like I said, was basketball. It kept me going.
Jordan had a new family to call his own. He also had another family in wheelchair basketball.
I consider our team very family related. We're all like a family. We're very close to each other. We can laugh, tease each other, and it doesn't hurt any of us. And I think that's very cool because I have to say not a lot of teams are like that. And I have to say we are one of those teams that we're just one really big happy family.
It's important to have camaraderie on the field. They talk to each other, they joke and they laugh and they have fun with each other. It's a fun thing, but they're serious too. There's a part of that basketball that's serious. They want to win.
We do have to travel out of state. We're competitive teams all around this United States, so we go around mainly because we don't have, like, you know how like high school teams, there's a team for each high school. Wheelchair basketball, we don't have that, and there really isn't that. There's like one team for the whole state of Utah or the whole state of California or whatever, and we all have to come and be on that one team, so we all have to travel to these different states just to play. It costs money to do this, lots of money, so we do fundraising to be able to travel. Sometimes it's even hard for some kids with different disabilities. It's hard to travel like that on planes and do all that stuff because they need the attention all the time of like a grown-up or someone to help them.
You just don't realize how much they've been through, and a lot of them, you know, they don't deserve it, but it's their lives. And I think as an able-bodied person, you don't see that.
Life is about what you want out of it. It is about the fight that you're willing to put in it. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair or if you're walking. You will get whatever you want out of life. It's about the fight that you have within.
You could see, even when the newer kids come into basketball, they're kind of, you know, they kind of feel like they're not like the others, and they just kind of are shy, and not all of them, but you know, some of them. And then they get around other kids that have similar issues or whatever, and hey, they don't feel so isolated and alone.
We can't stand up, but we can stand out.
We have our blood family, and then you have your team family. And there's a level of support that these kids have with each other because there's similarities.
When we go do fundraisers and we go put ourselves out there, that shows everybody that what we're doing, like what we're trying to show people that, look, just because we're in a wheelchair doesn't mean we can't play sports or go off to college and stuff. It just means we might do it in a little bit different way. So doing that too, like, gets everybody else out in the world too to see, hey, look at that kid, or look at that kid, he's playing basketball. And then they go tell their friends, and they tell their friends, and they're like, hey, I know this kid who plays basketball. And it's just a really good thing because then it shows everybody else there's not only one way to do something, there's other ways to do it too. Basketball is very important to me because it's my, how to say this, it's kind of my everything. It's what pushes me to do everything that I want to do. It has many rewards with it, and then many responsibilities to it too.
It's hard to stay old. I mean, I feel old, but sometimes I'm like, how can I do this at my age? But he keeps me going.
It's important for the parents too to keep their children like Jordan happy and involved in basketball. And it's just that. It's just setting goals and obtaining those goals. And that's what Jordan's doing this year.
I need to keep good grades. We have to be committed. We got to be there every day. We need to work as a team with each other, even that's on and off the court. Sometimes it's kind of stressful because sometimes we miss more than a day's worth of school too. And that can be hard on some of the kids. As like juniors or seniors or like me, it's kind of, you don't want to miss any days because, you know, it could like bring you down, you have assignments due or something.
His grades have went from very low grades. He's got straight A's now, and he's he's got a goal.
I want to go to college. I want to go to the University of Texas, Arlington. When I went to Texas, and I've already been in contact with the coach there, we have a really good relationship. And so when I went there, I just felt like, yeah, this is the place I'm gonna thrive. I'm gonna do something positive in their program, and I think it would be a best suit for me. Maybe if we did that and showed people that like the University of Utah could be more open and more of like, hey, the university, you know, I want to go there for school.
We just got him, we've formed that bond, and where other people have years and years to do that, and now I have to turn loose of him and let him go.
I know Jordan can do it, but it's just the thought of him being away.
It might be too late for Jordan, but there are other individuals that it would be great for. And you know, how awesome would that be if Jordan can, after he gets his education, he might even be a coach someday, you know, for one of the University of Utah teams.
I would have to say that basketball has been my huge support system, really, and then family now, and just coaches and just all the people around me that have helped support me.